from sportschatplace.com and pickdogs.com. Saturday, June the 6th, 2020. Man, I can feel the build, right? Like something's coming, right? It's like the NBA we know is coming, the NHL. Well, they said they're coming, but they won't tell us. Well, we're coming, but it's kind of like people that say they're coming to visit me in Hawaii. Yeah, we're coming, but, they still ain't here. But anyways, we have UFC. They're coming. We got Bundesliga action for tomorrow. Today's game's already underway. A lot of early scoring in today's game. We'll talk to Chris Ruffalo about that. We have NASCAR. We're supposed to have Jeff Jeter and Rod trading some paint and trading some opinions on today's NASCAR race, but so far neither of them are in the green room. But then we have, of course, computer picks played by computers, football games, and hockey. But anyways, what we'll do is we'll just bring in Steve Monahan. We're just going to roll right along. And, the show must go on, as they say. But anyways, Steve, good morning.
Good morning, Mitch. How are you?
I'm good. A little bit of an early start because I know we have so much ground to cover today. The players and the owners, now the players are back to the 82 game schedule, right? It's like reeling it in. I mean, they're going to meet in the middle. Why don't they start somewhere closer to the middle? How about this? They're going to meet somewhere close to them? You want me to pick the middle for you? How hard is this? How hard is this?
Yeah, we've been consistent that we think 82 games is what's going to happen, and the players throughout 114, the owners came back with 48. I think it got as low as, which is ridiculous. And here we are. But I think they will. I think by next week, I'm going to say an agreement should be in place, and I think they play baseball. I think they're crazy if they don't. Like we talked about with the collective bargaining still for next year, it could be, if they don't play this summer and then there's a double whammy of a strike next year, baseball, you think they were in the doldrums before McGuire Sosa, that fraud, brought them back in 98. This one would be really tough to come back to. So
the things that we're hearing right now is that the players have some leverage here, and this is the leverage. Okay, I'm not making this up. This is not like, hypothetical. This is the leverage that the players say they have, outside, of course, that they're the guys who played the games. Okay? Number one, an extended postseason. Number two, miking of players. Okay? Number one, I don't care. Number two, I care less than I care about number
right.
one. How about you, Steve?
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on both.
Could care. Is this leverage of any way, shape, or form?
None.
I don't see. I'm missing the leverage here. Okay, I don't watch the games with sound. Number one. Okay, I don't watch the games with sound because, nothing worse than Joe Buck, Tim McCarver. These guys here are rolling over in their grave when they hear these guys ramble on. There's nothing worse. So it's like, I don't listen to the games with sound. As a matter of fact, most people that have the MLB package, which is the only way to watch Major League Baseball these days, you got the grid up on, and it's like you got all the games on at once. You can't listen to all the games. I do not care what these players have to say in game. I'll tell you what, I don't care what they say after the game. It's like, I don't understand the leverage here. And as far as an expanded postseason, they expanded the postseason. I don't know how long ago it was when they went to this ALDS and NL. It's like, I don't even like that.
Yeah, but it hasn't hurt ratings. I think expanding the postseason and the NFL, I think is going to do it too.
It hasn't hurt. It hasn't hurt ratings. Okay, so the Atlanta Braves. Okay, the Atlanta Braves, when they were going through that run, okay, the John Rocker run, right? When they went through the run, and it's like they Glavine, Maddox, and it's like we call it the John I mean, that's terrible, right? Smalls, it's like, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, thank God John Rocker's not playing today with all that's going on.
Oh my God, empty seats at these, NLDS games, and you still see it today. Empty seats in those NLDS games.
Yeah, but I'm talking overall TV ratings and stuff like that.
I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I don't think there's an NL or ALDS, especially an even earlier round or a less meaningful baseball game. I think you stick up a Jaguars-Panthers Monday Night Football game and it stomps the living crap out of it. How about that?
That's right. Right. But it's better ratings for Major League Baseball, and to your point, they're not going to beat the NFL any way, shape, or form. Like you said, you pick two of the worst teams in the NFL, you throw them on Monday night.
Well, I'm not even saying they were the worst teams at all, and no apologies to Panthers and Jaguar fans if that's how that came off. I'm talking about two small market teams. That's all I threw out. That was two smaller markets. That was what was meant by that. Not that the Panthers stink, because the Panthers are good year, bad year, good year, bad year. So they might be a loaded gun this year. Right. All right. So, I think with Major League Baseball, we got to find the middle. But as much as these guys are stonewalling, do you see a little bit of softness here? Because I see two pillows going at it. Yeah. I see a pillow fight. I've seen Major League Baseball fights where it's like, guns blazing.
Yep.
This looks like a pillow fight compared to that.
Yeah, and I think by next week, I think an agreement will be in place. It has to be,
They figured out on ESPN yesterday, and we're friends of ESPN. We're not competitors of ESPN. We're sponsor some stuff that we do, right? They're just a great place, and be sure to check out tonight's UFC fights on ESPN Plus. If you haven't signed up, you can go to any of our UFC articles, just click on the link and sign up. You get a free year of the ESPN Plus. Plus, I think you get a discount on tonight's pay-per-view card, Amanda Nunes. But no shameless plugs going on there. But anyways, these guys came up and figured out exactly how much the differential was, how much these guys make. And it was like, when you break it all out, and especially down to now an 82 game, it's like, it's really not that big of a deal. And there are places to make it up. And I came up with the perfect idea to make it up, and that is just throw a couple logos on the uniform sleeve or something, It's like everybody else does it. And it's like it's not like Major League Baseball is the pure game that it claims to be. Come on, these guys are the worst of the worst when it comes to saying it's all about the money, right? They were the first ones to say it's all about the money. They continue to say it's all about the money. That's all they ever talk about is money. So why would this be any different?
Yeah, but in Major League Baseball there was a long history of players just getting completely raped by the owners decade after decade. And when Marvin Miller, became the head of that union in the 70s, they've been making up money. But it's all about the money. It's all about the money.
It's ridiculous at this point.
It is ridiculous.
Anyway, speaking about ridiculous, I'm going to bring in the Puck Dogs here. We're going to talk UFC fights. Steve, we'll see you in just a little bit.
You got it.
Wrap things up. But anyways, that was Steve Monahan from Sports with Mono E Mono, Pick Dog, Sports Chaplays. Just an all-around sports historian and an all-around good guy. Got Rod Zawacki and Chris Ruffalo for the eye candy section of the show. Guys, UFC fights tonight. The main event, I don't know if this is really an event at all. Are we looking here? Oh, good morning, by the way. Good morning to.
Morning.
Good morning. I just filibustered you without even the good morning. That was like, that was the old, aren't you going to buy me dinner first? It's kind of like, it's kind of like, that was almost like my dog when I take him out for a walk. There's no hello, there's no nothing. He goes straight for the snip. He sees another dog, it's straight for, it's like, there's no. No, not even a cup of coffee, not going to buy you a drink. He's down to business. Anyways, is this main event an event at all? obviously you can't bet it if you're betting Nunes, right? You can't even. It's unbettable here, because so much
It's
can happen.
bettable
No,
as long as you're not putting money line.
right. But I'm talking about. I'm. That's where I'm going. But it's like you can't if you go money line on Nunes, and we all know that MMA, boxing, these are sports. One punch changes everything, and it happens. And anybody that steps into any of these rings, especially in a championship fight, they rarely put an absolute patsy. I mean, maybe when Muhammad Ali used to be on Friday Night Fights, and they would do, he would fight like the Welch champion or something, James the Bleeder Cooper, and Henry the Bleeder Cooper they had, and it was John Pierre Koopman was the guy he fought. It was like the Lion of Flanders was his nickname. I mean, those guys obviously had no chance, against Muhammad Ali. Conor McGregor had no chance against Floyd Mayweather, but any chance here, and if it's not a chance, are we looking at prop bets as when the knockout will happen? Rod?
For me, Spencer's not. It's pretty tough. She's going to hang in there, and I think this goes the distance for me. For me, I'm taking the over 2.5 rounds, minus 125. I think that's easy. Spencer's shown she has a good jaw. She can get hit. She has a strong fist. She can punch back as well. This is definitely not a throw in the towel. Nunes wins while we watching this fight type thing. I think Spencer's going to give her a run. And for me, my best bet here is take Nunes by decision. You get plus 240 instead of minus 650. And I will put a little bit on Spencer because she is Canadian, and I'm going to root for her to win.
Chris?
Yeah, I was having a hard time with this one because you know what? It's plus 400. It's worth a look because it just takes one punch, and all the pressure's on Nunes to win this fight and keep her name brand and her winning streak alive. At the end of the day, though, I think she's still in her prime right now. She's going to probably get the job done here. I'd probably take her to win by knockout at minus 125 or TKO, and to win inside the distance at minus 170.
So it's like all these UFC cards, and the thing that I do like about UFC is that they just reel them out one after the other, these fights. There's very little time in between. It's not like in boxing, they reel them out, but eventually they get to like the main event, and it's kind of like if there's time in between, they just, they take forever. But in UFC, it's not necessarily the case. We have another big undercard. Any value on this undercard? Chris, what are you seeing here on this undercard?
There's a few fights that I was looking at, to be honest, because I was kind of pushed my focus away from the minus 600 at the main event. But I like Corey Sandhagen against Aljamain Sterling. I just think it's a toss-up between two fighters that are really on a roll right now. But I think the smaller cage kind of plays to Sandhagen's high pressure mentality when he's in the cage, and I just think he lands bigger blows than Sterling does. He's hitting 9 significant strikes a minute. I think it's a knockdown dragout, but I think Sandhagen wins probably via decision.
So are we looking at a wrestler versus a striker? What are we looking at here in this thing? I don't,
I mean, both of them. Sandhagen more has. He's more of a striker than Sterling is, I would say. But, I mean, like I said, I think it's just going to be where both guys just try to beat the crap out of each other. If Sandhagen does get taken down, he has had a history of struggling, and I think Sterling's probably going to go for the takedown. But at the end of the day, I think Sandhagen's going to try to keep it on his feet.
Rod, what are you seeing out there as far as other value?
On that one there, I'm going the other way. I think Sterling's the better striker here. He's worked himself into the better striker. I think this goes the distance, though. I think this is going to be a battle. They're going to battle each other, and I think Sterling wins by decision.
What other fights are you looking at, Rod, for tonight?
For me, the other ones I'm looking at, they're all juiced. So
He's not looking at us, so he must be looking at something.
Oh. Sorry. I'm looking at my little card that I made for the UFC. Sorry. Now it's up higher. Now I can look over here and see it. For me, I put together. There's some ones that are definitely going to win, but they're at like minus 185, minus 200. But I put those into a bird cage and put them together. If you put O'Malley, Bird, Burns, Meinfeld.
No, we're going fight by fight here. We're not we don't know anything about any of these fights. We need some help. That's what we're asking here. We're not asking to list out names. We're looking at a fight by fight basis and then do the bird cage at the end. No, Chris?
Yeah,
kind of like the last fight. Because you're talking about people that are blind here, like me.
Yeah.
I don't know who any of these guys are.
One that
I don't know Burns. George Burns, the comedian. I mean,
no, he's past
Artie Burns.
It's not the ghost of George Burns. It's the brother of the Burns, of the guy who fought the last event. This is his brother.
Steve, you know who Burns is? Steve, do you know who Burns is? He's muted himself.
I do not know who Burns is.
Me neither. All right, Steve.
Is it Mr. Burns?
We'll bring it.
Holy, definitely Mr. Burns. And we're doing the Simpsons episode of the UFC. Burns versus, I don't know who you'd put him against.
Smithers is his corner, man.
Oh.
Yeah, of course.
Release the hounds. What do we?
Excellent.
Wait! You can't release hounds in UFC.
My favorite Simpsons. My favorite thing from the Simpsons, and I use it all the time. When the Germans go to buy the power plant, and he's like, there's no way I'll sell. Slides the paper across the table, looks at it, and he says, I graciously accept your offer. I use it all the time. Anyways, Steve, we'll bring it back. I just wanted to know because I'm trying to, it's all work in progress here.
I think one fight that I'm looking at, even though it's heavily juiced on the money line, is Chase Hooper against Alex Caceres. I like Hooper. He's only 20 years old, but he's coming in owning a 9-0-1 record. And we saw it with the Mackenzie Dern fight where the UFC has these kind of up-and-coming fighters, and they kind of feed them a bone here and there to sort of build up their record, build up their profile. Hooper's got to work on his striking defense and his wrestling to prevent takedowns, but, Caceres isn't going to be the guy to exploit those weaknesses. He only has one knockout in 21 fights. I think the smaller cage again helps, and I think Hooper wins, and 7 of his 9 fights finished inside the distance. So I'll go Hooper inside the distance at minus 115.
Rod, you had any thoughts on that fight? Hooper? Nope.
Not touching Hooper.
Okay, what else? Is there another fight that you like specifically?
Yeah, for me, these 3 fights I do like, but like I'm telling you, the winner is all juiced to minus 240. You got Evan Dunham versus Herbert Burns. Burns is the brother.
Herbert Burns? Wait a minute.
Herbert Burns.
Sounds made up.
He's the brother who knocked out Woodley last fight.
Oh.
This is his brother.
Oh. Mm-hmm. I saw that. He didn't knock him out. He beat him in.
Well, he beat him into a pulp, and he should have knocked him out.
Anyway, this is his. We call that the technical term is he worked him over.
Yeah, he worked him over. So this is his brother. I'm taking Herbert Burns. He's minus 240. He's way better than Evan Dunham. Evan Dunham hasn't won a fight since 2016. So Burns it is on the money line.
Chris, you in on Burns?
Yeah, I am. I am winning inside the distance. Dunham hasn't fought since 2018 as well as not having won since 2016. Burns is on a 4-fight winning streak right now. I think he makes it 5. I think it's ugly for Dunham here.
And who else are you looking at, Chris? How many fights are there? There's like 11 fights or something?
I believe there's 11.
11 fights. Anything else here? Any meat on the bone out there? Any big dog? Any big dog that's just is a live dog. Like, is there a live dog on this card?
There's a couple dogs that I have. They're not huge dogs. I've got UCA Formiga against Alex Perez at +110.
Brazilian Formiga?
Yeah.
So jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
All right, I like those guys.
And he's he's one of the best, arguably one of the best flyweights in UFC history. It just happens that his career blossoming happened when Demetrius Johnson was the face of the flyweights in the UFC. And Alex Perez, he only had one fight against anyone. He hasn't beaten anyone in the top 10. One fight inside the top 10, saw him get knocked out in the first round by Joseph Benavidez. So
the thing I like about the jiu-jitsu guys is that it seems like they could be well behind, losing on all scorecards, done. They grab the guy's arm, twist him into a pretzel, and it's over like that.
It just takes one.
Right? It's
it just takes one take.
Oops! It's all it takes is one mistake, right? That's what we saw last week. The woman, Ben, was her name? Was that her name? Ben, something like that. The woman, Brazilian woman last week who won.
I don't know.
The other woman was winning, punching her in the face, and then she just made one mistake, and it was like she almost broke her leg off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you see from these jiu-jitsu fighters. Yeah. Is that they're just looking for the one mistake, and then you make that mistake, it's over. They might take a couple knees to the face in the process, but that's what they signed up for. Anyways, any other people you see getting kneed in the face out there? Rod, see anyone just?
Yeah, I see. Devin Clark's gonna get kneed to the face and beat to a pulp by Alonzo Meinfeld. It's the second preliminary fight. Meinfeld he's just a way better fighter. Clark is in for a rough night.
Meinfeld. It's a fight about nothing. Chris, what do you think of Meinfeld and Clark?
I haven't touched that one.
Wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
When someone I see getting kneed to the face tonight, it's Eddie Wineland against Sean O'Malley. I just think O'Malley's the way better fighter. He's a rising star in that division, so I'm going to take O'Malley to win via knockout or TKO at -130. So get you down from the -500 area.
Unless they land a sharp blow, right? Unless a sharp blow is landed, generally the longer the fight goes, the more someone gets beaten to a pulp. Who's going to get beat to a pulp tonight? Like just worked over, the full distance of just getting punched and kneed in the face. Hammer fisted, on the wrong side of the down position with, Any of that going to happen here? Or just too tough to call?
It'll probably be the main event.
All right.
I bet you Spencer's going to get her face is going to be rearranged. She's going to be bloodied. Well, that's for sure.
Well, Rod's chomping at the bit here with some parlays and bird cages.
No, I got one here. Here's my underdog of the fight. We got Cody Stamen versus Brian Keller. If you remember the name Brian Keller, he was an underdog who won a couple events ago against Azuri. He upset Azuri. Big guy. I think he comes in, he can do the same. I think he can beat Cody Stamen.
Heavyweights?
What rank are they? I don't know if they're...
Because you said big guys, so there's big guy heavyweight. The crazy thing is when you see these fighters in person and you actually stand next to them, half of them are tiny. I mean, I don't mean like tiny, like this way. I mean, they're generally like you hear them announce the sizes. When you go to boxing, fight like at MGM Grand Arena or something, everybody enters through the same entrance. Even whether you're Manny Pacquiao, whether you're Freddie Roach, whether you're anybody. And I've walked in that entrance and I've had fighters all around me. And it's always amazing to me that, especially the lighter weight guys like Keith Thurman, stuff like that. It's like they look so big on TV. And obviously he's in great shape. I mean, clobber me, But it's like, just not overly a tall guy,
Yeah. And they're not, they're actually the opposite of the heavyweights. They're featherweights.
Yeah, I mean, they weigh like, and how much do featherweights weigh these days? 120 pounds?
I think it's 135 for featherweight.
Yeah, so it's like, that's like, so Does that make like you guys double featherweights or something?
No, we're heavyweights.
I'm in the double featherweight plus heavyweight division.
Yeah.
I think I'm like
I think in the heavyweight division. That's for sure.
I think I'm like a welterweight. I'd get crushed. I mean, by the lightest of lightest, you know. And I always say that, like when people ask me, like, who are the best athletes? I get into these discussions with people, especially back when I used to drink. What sport has the best athletes? What people that are considered athletes aren't athletes? And I always say, for me, the guys that can do things that I can't do are the best athletes. So, like, professional golfer, I can get some birdies, eagles, hole-in-ones, all that stuff. I can't do it as consistently as they do. Bowling, I mean, I could get a few strikes, too. I can't do it as consistently as these guys do. I don't practice as much as they do. I haven't had the training that they do either, right? But a flyweight boxer could knock me on my ass in, next to 0 seconds. And I'll tell you, the other guys who are the great athletes are the jockeys. I mean, forget about it, man. It's like those guys, oh man. It's like if those guys turned into UFC fighters, they would be the best of the best. They would. There isn't a guy out there that could touch them. They're in ridiculous shape, and they're already used to making weight, man. They weigh nothing. Rod, you got a parlay for us? Birdcage? Anything?
Yeah, I got a 4-teamer.
So parlay. Round robin, or is it?
It's not worth round robbing.
Just
it's not worth round robbing minus 240s.
Straight parlay minus 240s. Not going to be the big Rod Zawacki payer that we're used to, but it's going to be worth the play. What do we got?
Yeah. It'll still give you over a plus, at least over 3 times your money, close to 4. Take Sterling money line, Burns money line, Meinfeld money line, and O'Malley by TKO minus 130. That should give you close to 4 times your money.
There you have it. 4 times your money on a bunch of big favorites. So on those fights where you would have to pay $240 to win, a buck. So it's like that's not bad.
And then I got one as well.
It's kind of like Rod's parlay. Kind of like it's not one of the ones like it's not a pick dogs, puck dogs, bird cage parlay type thing that we normally do. Mitch's money line parlay. It's not one of those. But what it is, it's basically mitigating your risk. It's like a lower. It's a lower risk with a reasonable payout betting the same fights, because it's like, yeah, it's a parlay, so the risk is going to be there, but it's like these are all pretty solid bets that are tougher to bet on their own. Minus 240. It's like if I'm at the fight, I certainly who we kidding? I'll probably throw something on it just for the hell of it. Anyways, go ahead, Chris.
Sorry, mine's just a birdcage to win inside the distance. Like Chase Hooper, Herb Burns, and Sean O'Malley all to win inside the distance plus 406.
Sounds like a law firm. Baker, Burns, and O'Malley. Is that it?
Hooper, Burns, and O'Malley.
Hooper, Burns, and O'Malley. And if this doesn't work out for them, if this doesn't work out, they'll do an excellent job on your taxes for you. Anyways, we got Jeff Jeter was supposed to be with us for a trading paint segment here with Rod about NASCAR, but he has straight ghosted us on this and just
he's still in the pit.
Yeah, no show, no message, no nothing. Really, I don't know, man. You guys can vote whether you want to ever see him again. I vote no. But anyways,
me too. Anyways, today's NASCAR. There's only the Truck Series and the Infinity Series race. Anyways, the Cup Series is tomorrow, but I'll give you my picks.
Who's the baddest mother trucker on the planet here in the NASCAR circuit?
For me, I'm going to go with Austin Hill. I think he's right there.
What kind of trucks do they use for this? I know nothing about this. Like, what truck bodies do they use? Is it just like regular NASCAR where they have all different ones? Because I had a Toyota Tacoma for a while, man. It's like the official truck of Maui, a white Toyota Tacoma. Man, it's like everybody has it. It's like you're at Costco. It's like there's a white Toyota Tacoma with its lights on in the parking lot. It's like Store empties. What do they use different trucks, or is it just a set?
No, it's all the same. They all look the same body of truck. It's a Ram body, I believe.
So they all use Ram.
It's a Ram truck body that they use.
All right. Dodge Ram. I didn't even think they made those anymore.
It's like which makes it's got to be weird too because it's like what Ram body with Toyota motor.
Yeah, that's weird.
Chevy motor.
Weird. It must
Ford
be sponsored. Motor. Must be sponsored.
Yeah, it's got to be.
All right. So, but who do we like here? So, who's our picks?
I'm gonna take Austin Hill plus 2,500 to win.
How about you, Chris? You got any truck picks?
Not for the truck. I'll have something probably for tomorrow.
All right, we'll do NASCAR tomorrow.
And then the Infinity race, which follows the truck race. They're going to start the truck race first. So it's a doubleheader of NASCAR today. So the truck series will open, and then after that, they'll do the Infinity race. And I have one pick for that as well. My pick for that, I'm going to take Harrison Burton to win the Infinity race. He's got five top five finishes this year. He's won one race. He's racing really well this year. He races for Joe Gibbs, and he does great on these 1.5 mile tracks that they got here in Atlanta.
You ever think these NASCAR guys like sit around with a couple, with like a couple of 12 packs, and they're like, why don't we try both of these at the same time? It's like I could see it, It's like, I got an idea. We got the Infinity race. We got the truck race. Let's just do them at the same time.
Imagine. And do them opposite directions.
Oh, man. That would be a mess. But on the same track would be crazy,
They could do like horses. You could have like an outside track and an inside track. And
yeah. And the turf.
Yeah, and the turf, yeah. Big race in that today. It's the Santa Anita Derby today.
Oh, is it?
It is, yeah.
I didn't know. Bob Baffert
Santa
got about
Anita
6
Derby
horses
going
in, or what? Baffert got a 1-9 for us there.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Baffert's 1-9 is.
So he's got
because he lost 2 of his guys. He lost Charleston. Yeah, he's out. He got caught with. They must have been juicing his horse because he got.
Wait a minute.
That horse got tested for illegal drugs.
They're juicing horses?
No way. They have found illegal drugs in a Baffert horse.
There's no way I would bet on a juiced horse.
So he got suspended, and then his other horse, Nadal, he retired early.
There's no way it would happen that I would bet on a juiced horse.
You wouldn't know.
Well, I had a hunch.
Yeah, well, we all had a
with
hunch.
This one.
For me in that race, I'm going 7-5. I have it by number. I don't have name right off the hand. My iPad went Kaputski. So.
All right. Maybe we'll come back for a live update on that Santa Anita Derby. What time is the race?
Yeah, it'll be this afternoon.
All right, so if I'm around and Rod's around, maybe we'll do a quick little live show for the hell of it from here in the studio and do some Santa Anita Derby picks. All right, last but not least, well, second to last and not least, we got Bundesliga. Chris, you want to lead the way? Let's take a look at today's Bundesliga because we started early, but we're actually running well on time here. So I've kind of kept everything on point. I know that Hoffenheim was trailing early, and now they've come back and knotted it up at 1-1, while Munich was down 1-0 with the early goal by Leverkusen, and Bayern has come back with a fury with 3 goals on them. Chris's favorite team, well, second favorite team, mine's up 1-0, and of course his official fan club team, Paderborn, just not getting it done once again, losing 1-0. But any in-game action here that we could jump on, especially we got a few 1-0 games here and a 1-1 game. I know Rod liked a lot of ties today, but looks like there's a definite possibility for 3 of them. I just think was Leverkusen and Munich. I think was one of them though.
Yeah, and
Might be in
Leverkusen
trouble there.
fell apart.
I know
They started off good.
Yeah, it was 1-0 right out of the gate. I mean, like
Yeah.
less than 5 minutes in, and a lot of these games we've seen early goals today. Within the first 5 minutes. I was following this before we started the show, which is crazy because I never watch Bundesliga. Right?
There's red cards in two of these games, and we're not even at halftime yet.
This is the world we live in.
Hoffenheim's got a red card, so they're down a man.
And Hoffenheim just pulled ahead. It looks like 2-1.
Yeah, they just scored a goal too.
See,
even down a man. Hoffenheim's down a man, and they just scored to make it 2-1. And Leipzig's down a man against Paderborn.
I think for me, if you're going to live bet anything right now, I could still see Hoffenheim. If you want to take a shot on the live bet, the odds haven't updated yet, though, after the goal was just scored. But I think you could also take Frankfurt and Mainz to draw. Right now it's at plus 275. I think Frankfurt's going to get one.
All right. What do we got for tomorrow? Or did we do today's later game, Dortmund and Hertha Berlin?
I threw to my birdcage, but we haven't really covered it. I mean, for this game, Dortmund need to keep winning. But I mean, Hertha's played well in their own right. They picked up, 10 of a possible 12 points since they restarted. I still think Dortmund wins, but I don't think Hertha makes it easy. So I'm going to take Dortmund to win with both teams to score at plus 155. I could see this being a 2-1, 3-1, even 3-2 game.
We're 11 days away from the Premier League. Are they the next league that's starting? I know that a lot of leagues are going to be starting. Is Premier next?
No, Spain is starting Thursday. This is coming Thursday.
So we'll see Messi and we'll see Ronaldo and those guys, right?
Yeah, they'll be coming. I think they're on the weekend, but we'll definitely start seeing some of the giants in the Spanish league.
Awesome. What do we got today for tomorrow? Early action.
For tomorrow, the early game is Wolfsburg against Werder Bremen. I like Werder Bremen. They're a talented team. I wish they'd stay up. The problem is they've only won one home game this year, and they've only scored more than one goal one time since December 8th. This is a pretty good price for Wolfsburg, all things considered. So I'll take Wolfsburg at even money. And Wolfsburg with both teams to score, no, at plus 270. I think they wouldn't be a shutout.
I agree with that one. Give me Wolfsburg, money line.
And then the 9:30 Eastern game, Union Berlin against Schalke, and I think this is the worst game in this round of games. You got Schalke on an 11-game losing run. Union's probably in that purgatory zone where they're not going to be doing anything. They're just playing out the string. I think this is a draw. I take the draw at plus 220. I'll take this, and for a little bit better odds, I'll take the correct score of either 0-0 at plus 750 or 1-1 at plus 525.
I'm with you. Give me a draw.
I think it's just going to be a game where it's played in the middle third.
Yeah.
And then the last one, the afternoon games, Augsburg and Cologne.
Ugh.
They play different styles, but the Augsburg's playing low-scoring games while Cologne isn't afraid to put points on the board. The problem is they're conceding as well. So the last four of the last 6 and 5 of the last 8 have all ended in draws. So I'm going to take the draw here as well at plus 240. And I'm going to take a shot at the correct score of 2-2 at plus 1,000. And maybe even the draw with the over 2.5 or 3.5 goals at plus 850.
Wow, we're on the exact same thing. I like the draw here as well. So my 3-teamer for tomorrow is Wolfsburg, draw.
It's the exact same.
Who's your guys' number one pick for tomorrow in soccer? We got a question here. The soccer's today. There's only one game left, so there's only one game for them to pick, and they both took. They already did that one, but so tomorrow Wolfsburg is the play. If you just have one.
Yeah.
All right, Wolfsburg.
The answer is if you're looking for a winner.
Wolfsburg. Anyways, we're gonna bring in Steve Monahan. We're gonna go do my favorite segment, Sim Picks, simulated picks. These are computer games played by computers that people are betting on. Okay. Chris, how did we do yesterday?
So yesterday, the Jets beat the Browns 26-6.
Wow. Baker Mayfield
wow.
just not having that simulated season he had hoped for.
The Texans beat the Chiefs 33-23. The Cowboys beat the Packers 41-17.
Wow.
I'm just trying to get the score of the last game.
Chargers and the Rams. Go Chargers, go, or else I'm 0-4.
Yeah, I was not doing too well last I checked.
Just have a tough time grasping the conditions of these simulated conditions.
Right.
We need like a horse program.
Especially when
We need like a horse program for simulated games. It's like, he's a mutter, his mother was a mutter.
That one was a mutter.
His father was a mutter. His father was a mutter.
The Sharks beat the Ducks yesterday in overtime. Another winner there.
Who stepped on a duck?
And there is no hockey today.
No hockey. No simulated hockey.
No computer versus computer hockey today.
And the Rams beat the Chargers 48-41.
For the clean sweep of 0-4.
1-3.
1-3.
Yeah, it was a tough day at the office in simulated football. So we should get shirts like the next. I have all the Pick Dog shirts, of course, ready to go for when we resume. But the next round of shirts, a lot of people want shirts with sayings, and maybe we'll do some small runs of some shirts with sayings. But I think we should say Sim Picks is a tough way to make a living. I think it is, man. It's a tough way. It is, man. What do we got today? Action. I know generally they have a bigger card on Saturdays, but I didn't give it a lot of attention at the websites because of everything else that's going on today.
Lately, they've only been running 4 games.
Yeah. Okay.
So today,
the overhead's got to be killing them.
Yeah. Today at 12 Eastern, Bills -4.5 against the Lions.
Blake Snell's did the negotiations on how many simulated games they'll play. Bills against the Lions.
I like the Lions with the points and money line.
Bills against the Lions? Is the game? What's the spread?
Bills -4.5.
Yeah, I would never take the Lions, and I never take the Giants.
Bills it is. Bills for sure.
Yeah.
I'll go Bills.
Go Lions. Lions.
Chris is doing after yesterday's beatdown, he's doing the old. I'll just take the opposite of what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And that'll come bite you in the butt because it'll be normal day.
The technical term for that one is what they call that one in the book is the Costanza approach.
Oh wait, it's Buffalo in the light snow, so definitely taking Buffalo now. Detroit can't play in the snow.
At 3 Eastern, Steelers -6.5 against the Broncos.
I'm going to take the Steelers.
I'll go Steelers.
I'm gonna take the Broncos +6.5.
Broncos with the points and money line.
Chris, money liner today. Go big.
If you look, I went all 4 money line, so I will. We'll go 7 o'clock. Ravens -6.5 against the Colts.
Ravens.
Colts with the points and money line.
Ravens for me all day.
Yeah, Ravens -6.5.
And the last one, Packers -3.5 at the Seahawks.
What time is this game at?
10 Eastern.
So, in case you guys are faced with this rough choice, just remember the Packers are playing the Seahawks on simulated sports. In case you don't want to watch the UFC fight, or the Santa Anita Derby, or whatever else is out there. We also have another thing that we cover at Sports Chat Place now, which a guy Nathan in Australia is covering for us, is the NRL, which is the rugby league, and they are showing these games. And I gotta say, man, I have no idea what the rules are, but I love this sport. It's like this is one of those ones like, the UFC. Some people, they just love UFC. No other sport. Some people love NHL. Like no other sport. It's like those sports have like their weird, like this weird thing where it's like they just hit this certain segment of the population, and it's like people that don't even like other sports, they'll go to hockey. They love hockey. It's like it's a crazy thing, right? And UFC too is the same way. But I'll tell you what, I love this rugby, man. It's way better than like the XFL or any of that other pretend football. It's way better. These guys really kill each other, and I'll tell you who's going to get killed is the Packers. I'm taking the Seahawks. After the Packers' performance yesterday, I'm embarrassed for them.
I'll take the Packers. Packers minus 2.5.
Foolish and lacks vision.
And money line.
Rod's foolish and lacks vision. With that
I see them, they get whooped. They bounce back the next game and win.
Not against the 49ers, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
They lost to them the first time, and the second time, they gave up even more. All right, I guess that wraps up today's show. I'm getting back in the water. I'm surfing again, and I had stopped surfing. For those of you guys that didn't know, I had stopped surfing since October. I had a foot injury, nearly lost my the big toe on the left foot, and that will slow you down a little bit. Definitely more of a Band-Aid, and the one thing you want to avoid is if you have a cut, you don't want to go in the ocean. You don't want to get a staph infection because, there's no really other way to put this. They give you an ass shot. I mean, that's really what happens. It's like you get staph, it's an ass shot. It's not like, oh, we're going to give you a shot, and you do one of these, you're like, yeah, when's the last time you got an ass shot? Anyways, speaking of ass shots, I'm out of here. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy your Saturday. Rod and I might be back later. It depends on what time that race is at. But normally these Pacific Coast time races, something like that for Santa Anita Derby, could be in that 6 to 7 Eastern time range.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's what it is.
Could even be later. So we'll try and shoot back for the Santa Anita Derby picks, and maybe we'll watch the race together. We can't show the race on here or listen to the commentary on here, but we certainly can do our own commentary of the race as it goes. But anyways, have a great day, everyone. We'll see you guys later on. Maybe. If not, we will see you tomorrow, and we'll talk about the UFC beatdowns. We got more Bundesliga, more NASCAR, more simulated picks. I'm sure the baseball guys will make an ass out of themselves again today in one shape or form. So we'll have plenty to talk about. Steve, Chris, Rod, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Have a good day.